My name is Shraga Stern. I'm 38 and live in Chicago.
Now you are in Chicago and you wake up and you see that this massacre happened.
Yeah.
And you hop on a plane right to Israel and you're here the next day.
Yeah.
What did you see when you got here?
One of my men met me at the airport as I landed in Ben Gurion and already had all my gear for me, uniform and everything, and I came straight to the battlefield. There were burnt cars with bodies hanging out them in every intersection. We showed up where the Nova Festival was and there were still tens of bodies laying around and fighting was still going on. I mean, our team encountered terrorists in Sderot on Sunday after midnight. So this is over 24 hours after there was still fighting going on ground. And it felt like the whole region was totally a war zone out of control.
Is there anything you saw that day that really stuck with you or since you've been here? Something that is keeping you up at night maybe?
Yeah, I think many things. Yeah, I would say maybe one image that I go back to is that while we were collecting bodies, most of these bodies were Hamas terrorists. But then at some point right by the fence, we found a woman. And she had long curly hair and she was handcuffed with hands behind her back. And that kind of stuck with me. I feel that it was a very sacred mission to, I don't know who she was or what her name was, but she was identified later down the line, and I just felt it was a very sacred mission to bring some clearance to her family on what happened to her that day. And I think it stands for the fact that we risked our lives to bring back those bodies. And it speaks a lot about how much we value every individual life, and what a high value we give to human life in general, which is totally different than Hamas, which I could tell by the way that they sent in all their terrorists that they did not value their lives. Whoever sent them didn't make sure that they could get back home. And for me, when I plan my missions for my soldiers, one of the things that I put most attention to is first winning and getting our job done, whatever it is, but in the same time thinking about our evacuation routes and what do we do if we have someone injured. We put a lot of thought into that. I'm very upset at Hamas to put their own citizens through this and to put the people of Gaza through this. I hear a lot about free Palestine. I feel that I'm here to free Palestine. In 2016, my brigade was stationed in the West Bank in a town called Efrat. And one night at 2 a.m. we had a surveillance camera that noticed a suspected person climbing over the fence. Right away, my whole team showed up there. I was a company commander at the time, and I had about 160 men searching the town, door to door, backyard to backyard, all night looking for this terrorist. Before sunrise, we were dismissed and prioritized to another mission. Since we didn't find him all night, it was assumed that he wasn't there anymore. And as we're driving out of the neighborhood, I just had a gut feeling that something was wrong and that we should have stayed longer and we should stay until daylight. But since my team was prioritized and we already dismissed them, I went back myself with my team of 4 and parked right on the bush where I thought he would be. And came out of the car, opened a flashlight, looked left and right, didn't see anything, and went back to sit in the car. I was in the passenger seat and left the door open. And as I was doing that, looking at the map, all of a sudden I felt a big hit on my right, and a terrorist came right at me with a knife. I jumped out of the car at him without my gun that was in the car, and I just wrestled him and fought him down to the ground while being stabbed multiple times. At some point I was able to grab him by the neck, lift him, and throw him on the ground with my body weight over him, and one of my men was able to shoot him in the head. Once that happened, I was very severely injured. I had a knife that was plunged right into my rib cage, ripped an artery, ripped my lungs. I was coughing up blood, and basically it was a near-death experience. A few hours later, I woke up in the hospital realizing I got a second chance on life, which in the beginning for me was, was a very happy moment, but later on it turned into an itch of wanting to do something meaningful with my life. Down the line, I met Brothers for Life, which is an organization that helps soldiers who are wounded in combat. That experience was life-changing for me, the experience of getting injured, but also seeing what other guys, other soldiers who were injured in combat were willing to do for me and be there for me. I ended up joining their triathlon team as that was part of my recovery. Since my lung was injured, then doing triathlons was super healing for me, and regaining control and strength was very important. And when I had the opportunity, I felt like I wanted to give back, and that's why I got really involved with Brothers for Life and helping newly injured soldiers now. I think we have something very special where we could help each other in ways that other people can't help a wounded soldier. We could identify, we understand the needs. We understand what it means to be in that hospital bed and what's it gonna take to get back up on your feet.
Do you know anything about the terrorist who stabbed you?
I know that he came into Efrat with a wish to kill as many Jews as he can. So I know that about him, and I know that what motivated him is a total annihilation of Israel. And that's what Hamas stood for and showed us their true face on October 7th. That's why I'm here. I grew up in a family of Holocaust survivor. My grandparents were both Holocaust survivors. And we always grew up with the notion of Israel as the promise that Jews would never be slaughtered again unprotected.
But you were stabbed, right? You were hurt.
Yeah.
You had to go through recovery. What was it like to gear up again and go back into a situation like that? You didn't have any fears?
Yeah, well, it would be foolish to say, standing right before war, that there's no fear. There's fear too, but the fear that is there is manageable, and we trained for this day and we prepared for this day. We have no other choice. I mean, even if there is some fear, we have no other choice but totally eliminating Hamas, because the end game for us is rebuilding our towns, rebuilding our communities. If we don't rise up now and retaliate and fight back as strong as we can and show that we are capable, we'll have the whole Middle East jumping on us.
You've seen some things. People here are seeing things. So when they're done, they're going to have these emotional wounds, and they're also going to have these physical wounds. So what's the plan for Brothers for Life once this is over? Yeah,
well, we're not only waiting for it to be over, we're working on ground now. I'm sure that as time goes by, then there'll be a lot of other needs. We have experience with these needs from the war in Lebanon in 2006, from Cast Lead in 2008, from Protective Edge in 2014. We build up a track record of a lot of experience of what are the needs down the line for soldiers who are injured in combat. And we're preparing all that. That has to do with the emotional support, the physical support, the medical support, the financial support, everything that we've done for 1,600 soldiers in the past 20 years or 17 years, we're gonna do for these guys here. And that truly gives me a lot of strength, knowing that every mission that I make a decision on and every mission that I lead, I know that if anyone here gets injured, I'm not forgetting about them once this tour is over and I'm back in my life. We're gonna keep taking care of these guys for the rest of their lives.